Namaste children, this is Renuka R, your English teacher. Welcomes you to the session. Hope you are all being in health. So today we'll start a new lesson, that is First Flight, from the book First Flight, written by Leon O. Flaherty. And this story is about a family of seagulls. There was a young child in the family who was unable to fly even after several tries. The story highlights the importance of family and friends in one's life. It also gives the message that one needs to believe in self to overcome all the hurdles of own life. And this story, it relates to our life also. So every step in life needs courage and self-confidence. To cover a distance of 100 miles, we have to make a first step. Now let us discuss the characters of the lesson. Family of seagulls. So there are 6 members in the family of seagulls, and there is a young seagull, one who is unable to fly due to fear. And now let us learn about the poet Leon O. Flaherty. He was born to a large poor family on Ennismore, one of Ireland's rocky Aran Islands. As a young man in his 20s, he witnessed and participated in the Irish Civil War. Flaherty took inspiration from his experiences writing frequently about the political conflicts in Ireland. Now let's move ahead. We'll begin with the lesson, his first flight. So the young seagull was alone on his ledge. His 2 brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the edge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night, even when each of his brothers and his sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away. He failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly. Shrilly means sharply. Upbraiding. Upbraiding means scolding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim. Skim means to move lightly just above a surface. So they were teaching him how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means a soft finned sea fish, and eat quickly. standing on a rock while his parents circled around him, raising a proud cackle. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau, the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing. He closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, their family took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sisters were lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the foot maddened him, maddened the seagull. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to welt it. Welt it means sharpen. Ga, 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 cried the young seagull, begging her to bring him some food. Ga, 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 she screamed back, mocking at him. But he kept calling sorrowfully, and after a minute or so he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up the piece of the fish and was lying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she altered her wings motionless, a piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish with a loud scream. He fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Monstrous terror means very fearful. Seized means caught him, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong. Headlong means here downwards. He was not falling downwards now. He was soaring gradually. Soaring gradually means flying upwards, then downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, 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 ga. His mother swooped. Swooped means glide, past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, cavorting Cavorting means sleeping like a horse. And banking means flying with one wing higher than the other. And soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. So, shrieking shrilly means screaming very sharply. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges. Ridges means wavy edges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and amusedly. Cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. His parents means the young seagull's parents. They were beckoning. Their family were beckoning. Beckoning means signaling, giving a signal to him, like calling very sharply. He dropped his leg to stand on the green sea. His leg sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was fright, but he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps. Scraps means pieces. Scraps of dogfish. Dogfish means a very small sharks. He had made his first flight. Thank you, children. Hope you have understood the lesson. So, in the next session, we will meet with a new lesson, that is the Black Aeroplane of First Flight book. Till then, stay indoors, stay healthy.